we have an unbelievable matchup here in the Pop Tarts Bowl. We've had a great game these last several years with the Pop Tarts Bowl and everything that goes around it, with the on-field shenanigans and such. But Georgia Tech, BYU, man, we are getting these teams essentially at full strength. Two great coaching matchups. Great coaching matchups. Two quarterbacks that have played really good football this year. One, he's been in college football forever, and Haynes King. The other, Bear Bachmeyer, a true freshman, which at this point, he's not a freshman anymore. All right, he has played a full season of football. He is a good quarterback. One that maybe gotten snubbed for some freshman postseason awards. He is a phenomenal football player. And I was not confident in him going into the season. Of course, when you're wearing the number 47 as a quarterback, it's gross as it is. But I have been severely impressed with him. But man, it's going to be a barn burner, man. Probably the most excited for I am for a game this coming Saturday. It's going to be this one. And you're not just looking at like two teams that are really good just like this year. I think you're looking at two teams that have coaches that have a significant amount of momentum behind them. And you're also looking at coaches that want to be able to take another step forward this year after both of them being very close in their respective conferences to taking over them and winning them.
Yeah, a couple of alumni, right, that are playing for their schools that they played for. So that's awesome. I love this year. Also, too, you get Chris Winkie calling plays for Georgia Tech going up against defense coordinator Jay Hill for BYU. It is fantastic. And the off-field channel, you talked about them loving the press conferences between these two coaches, trying all the things. I'm sure the broadcast and the actual media behind it and everything will be fantastic off the field. And it sounds like it'd be a great game, too. Just spread of four, a lot of fun. Two quarterbacks, you talked about them a little bit, that I love to watch play. Haynes King might be the healthiest we've seen him since week one. It will be his swan song in college football. Just absolutely devastated that this will be the last time to see him don a Georgia Tech jersey. Would just hope and pray he finds his way into professional football, whether that's the NFL or whether that's the USFL, whatever it may be. CFL, like he could do a lot of fun things. I think him running the football, and then of course Bear Bachmeyer, the young kid, feels like I was telling you off air. It's almost a passing of the torch from one frisky, physical, downhill running quarterback to the other one, and the young guy in Bear Bachmeyer. You've also got a healthy L.J. Martin, healthy Jack Kelly defensively for BYU, hoping to get a Caleb Stone back. That's defensive lineman for Georgia Tech, and things he can get done. Sounds like he was banged up after the end of the season, but they got some guys there behind him if he can't go. Seniors galore all over this field. Oh, it's fantastic. This is one of the premier, if not the premier bowl games in all of college football, and I can't wait for it.
You talked about these teams just like being healthy, and I'll point to the BYU side specifically. Like what Jay Hill did, I mean, we've talked about this a lot of times, and if you're with us for the first time, we've talked about Jay Hill a bunch of times. In fact, I was not extremely excited when they hired Jay Hill the first time because Kalani Sitake's job was on the line. Like, and he was putting everything. All of his chips were in on Jay Hill. In every press conference he had, preseason just a year ago, it was, I have my guy at defense coordinator. I have my guy at defense coordinator. Even though they lost like everything on that side of the football, they balled out on that side. And this year, you get the same thing. But guess what? Jack Kelly missed time. Demooney missed time. Moa missed time. Process missed time. You had, and I'm probably missing guys. Like, there were so many injuries. And you were still a top 20 defense in college football, which is wild. That is the Jay Hill effect right there. That is the Jay Hill. That is the Kalani Sitake saving his job, right? And that's the Kalani Sitake getting him. They got him a giant pay raise, right? And almost got him the Penn State job, but he turned it down. I mean, Crumble Cookies is going under because he hired the right defense coordinator right now at this point. But jokes aside, this defense is phenomenal and it's physical, which doesn't necessarily bode well for Georgia Tech. But Georgia Tech, I mean, they thrive, on physicality. You talked about Haynes King, the running backs there. I mean, holy moly, they got it seems like a plethora of them, right? Jamal Haynes and Co. Like they got guys and dudes there. So what's going to happen here in this game? I think we're going to see a really physical football game. I think we're going to see turnovers and special teams and explosives certainly decide the outcome of this one. You're looking at the line in this one. BYU's favored by 4. I'll be in Georgia Tech +4. I don't have a significant edge at certain position groups, to be honest, between both these teams. So I'm going to take the points. And I'm going to take the quarterback that is just a winner. Just a winner. And Grant Bear Bachmeier, winner as well. Would classify him as a winner. I will take the frisky, tough, gritty winner in Haynes King in his last ever collegiate football game. And I know Georgia Tech was a really good football team last year, and they kind of got dog walked in their bowl game against Vanderbilt. So if you want to point to postseason success, with Georgia Tech, you can look at that and say, I mean, what a stupid pick by you, but sorry, sue me. Sue me for taking Haynes King in his last ever college football game.
Listen, I hate to go against that. I hate to go against Haynes King in his last one here, but I'm actually going to be on BYU -4. I'll make that a best bet as well. I think they get it
Ooh,
done here. I think them defensively is going to be the difference in this game. These two defenses, excuse me. Georgia Tech's defense. We talked a lot about Haynes King. You talked about the running backs, Malachi Hosley, Eric Rivers, Rutherford. They got a plethora of weapons there all over the field. Chris Winkie will get things done. They will be physical, physical, and ready to play under Brent Key and Chris Winkie. But I think their defense, yes, albeit full of a bunch of seniors and guys who have played a lot of football, is something that does concern me. I think BYU can win this
sure.
game in multiple ways. I think either way, if this game turns into an ugly game, right, and it's yucky and gross and it's physical and it's low scoring, I think BYU feels comfortable winning that kind of game. Or if it's in the low 20s and teens, great. Sign me up for that, for Bear Bachmeier and physicality of the BYU defense. Or if it gets into a high scoring 20s and 30s and even low 40s, I feel good about them doing that as well. That is not something I would have said about BYU and Bear Bachmeier early in the season. I have been incredibly impressed with his growth and development outside of the games against Texas Tech, which that defensive line and those bodies there, those linebackers, that defensive back, that's an incredible defense. That's a legit top 5 defense, top 5 team in the country, right? That you played them on the road in the most hostile environment that Texas Tech has approached and had there in almost a decade and a half. And then also you played them in the Big 12 championship game as well in Dallas. So like this will not be that kind of challenge. I don't think athlete wise, and I don't think physicality wise, especially coming from Georgia Tech's defensively. So I like BYU here -4. Obviously, I'll take them to win and to cover. That's the best bet for me.
That's fair. I think that's very fair. And when you look at these teams, I'm like, okay, similar success running the football, though I'd give the edge probably to Georgia Tech. Both teams that take care of the football, despite, on one side having a guy that you would have classified as turnover prone just a couple of years ago when Haynes King was at Texas A&M. You were like, oh, that's a turnover prone quarter. Done a phenomenal job taking care of the football. And then Bear Bachmeier on the other side, phenomenal job taking care of the football. And from these quarterbacks don't take sacks either. They don't, relative to other quarterbacks in college football. They do a really nice job setting protections, which for a freshman like Bear Bachmeier to do what he does. And in the Big 12, which granted, you're not playing against some of the best defensive lines in the country, but you did play against one of the best defense lines in the country twice. And I thought that, yeah, sure, like the pressure got to them a couple times in that game, but in general, like they're ready to go for this one. BYU's offensive line and Bear Bachmeier in terms of dealing with pressure, Georgia Tech side as well. Like two teams, like you're going to get like a really good football game when you got two teams that aren't taking care that love taking care of the football really well. They don't really take sacks and negative plays. They both can run the ball really effectively. So it's just going to become down to like that's why I said going to come down to like special teams, explosive plays, and then ultimately, physicality. And it depends what side of the ball you get it from. For Georgia Tech, if you get it on their defensive side, I like their chances a lot more than if they don't. But if BYU comes out and really punches them in the mouth on that side of the football, yeah, I think BYU absolutely has a shot uh, to win and cover, like you're talking about here.
Yeah. One thing I want to ask you here is obviously going to be a fantastic game. We differ in our opinions on who's going to win let's pick some MVPs here. So I'll take some from BYU, get some from Georgia Tech. I'll take an offense MVP. I'll take the safe play. I'll go LJ Martin. I think he's going to be about as healthy as he has been in a while, and they will feed him the rock. He's averaging over 5.5 yards per carry. I think he might be close to 6 or 7 there, and something that they will definitely be leaning on offensively. And then defensively, I'll just low hanging fruit here. Jack Kelly, he is a monster. The ways he can affect it, lining up on the defensive line, in coverage, in the run game. I think he gets an interception, a batted ball, and a fumble recovery as well. Yeah.
Look, for Georgia Tech, if they win this football game, I think you and I both know that there's only one MVP. There's only one person that they could hand that award to on Georgia Tech. And that means that Haynes King probably ran for 100 yards and 2 touchdowns, threw for another 200, and he just got it done. All right, so Haynes King is my guy. He is a one tough son of a bitch. I respect the hell out of that. Longview legend, Texas high school football legend. Didn't work out at A&M because the system didn't fit him. Decides to go to a system where the system does fit him. It works out. It's just a guy that you have to root for. You just have to root. Coach's kid, works hard, says the right things, gets the grades. I mean, just a guy you have to root for. So that's going to be my MVP, no matter what. And if he gets hurt, I don't know what it's going to look like there. I'm not sure that Aaron Philo is going to be playing in this game because he is in the portal. So if Haynes King does that thing where look, I don't know what kind of injury he would have to have for you to take him off the field for his last college football game. Probably would have to have a severed leg of some sort to get him off that field. But if he were to get hurt, it's kind of over. I mean, it really is. There's nothing that Georgia Tech is going to be able to put out there that's going to be able to put out the same sort of energy that Haynes King brings to that offense and that team in general. They just rally behind him, man. They really do. All those guys. It's awesome, man. This is going to be a great football game. We've gotten great Pop Tarts Bowls before. I can't wait to get another one.